What's up, your boy Vaughn? The reaction. In today's video, we have how Italy slowly destroyed its football by Pletic. I don't know how to say your name. Yeah, this a fall from grace that don't get talked about enough. Italy, y'all fell off OD hard. Y'all niggas won the World Cup
Take a
in
look at this.
2006, and it's not like Italy got some talented players. Like it's still some decent players from Italy. I can't think of none from off my head right now. I know Vitinha. No, not Vitinha. Marco Verratti, he was from Italy. What's the nigga Calafiori? The nigga with the hair that Lee Gunner hate that play for Arsenal. Calafiori, he just have long hair. Just say you fancy him, mate. That nigga hate Calafiori.
That's Italy playing cricket. Until now, you probably didn't even know that Italy played cricket. And if you think that was surprising, take a look at this stat. Since 2006, Italy's cricketers have won as many World Cup matches as Italy's footballers.
What?
A dire turn of events for one of football's oldest powerhouses. And to make matters worse, for the third World Cup in a row, the tournament will go on without Italy. The four-time champions once treated World Cup qualifications as almost automatic. Once upon a time,
Like in that 2006 Italy team was stacked, my nigga. Like y'all niggas had Pirlo, like Maldini. He Italian, right? Maldini, yeah. That's a Italian name, Maldini.
if you wanted to see the best players in the world or the smartest tactical battles, you looked no further than Italy. And yet today, the picture looks very different, not just for the Italian national team, but for Italian football in general. In the 25-26 season, Serie A came
Oh yeah, Serie A suck. Besides Inter Milan, they're the only team to make the Champions League final 2 times.
close to having no teams at all in the Champions League round of 16. To be fair, there have been moments reminding us of the old Italy, but those moments increasingly feel
Yeah, that Euro team.
like exceptions. The broader pattern is much harder to ignore. The sport that once defined the country's identity is one that suddenly
Yeah, Saudi Arabia or Dubai. Y'all need to buy a Serie A team immediately. I ain't gonna lie, y'all need to help the league.
looks like it's falling behind. So what's going on here? How did Italy go from setting the standard for football to now struggling to keep up with it? This is Football Explained. Ronaldo's electrifying presence at Inter Milan. Zidane gliding through midfield for Juventus. Batistuta turning Florence into one of football's great romantic stories. Serie A felt like the centre of football in the 90s. The greatest defenders and the sharpest
Like Juventus was winning Champions Leagues. AC Milan, bro, that AC Milan team that won that Champions League 2007, I think that team was stacked as hell. One of the most stacked teams ever. Kaká, Pirlo, like, bro, Maldini, and any jerseys was hard, bro. I need that black AC Milan jersey.
all thriving.
I miss the no, I'm stupid. I miss like the collar jerseys. Them bitches was hard than the long sleeve ones. But niggas be grabbing the jersey and shit.
And it reached everywhere, from Europe to Latin America, where for many, Italian football was football. But beneath that golden era was a structure built on conditions that were slowly disappearing. A lot of what defines Italian football's situation today began here. Many of the league's biggest clubs were powered by wealthy patrons rather than sustainable models. Silvio Berlusconi turned AC Milan into one of the greatest sides in history. Massimo Moratti poured his fortune into Inter. Its lack of a business-first mentality gave the league a certain rugged authenticity. But it also meant clubs were, in many ways, extensions of their owners. When those foundations were tested, the cracks were hard to contain. Across the league, entire projects began to collapse. Parma collapsed alongside the Parmalat scandal, a €10 billion book fiddling scam that bankrupted the club. Lazio and Fiorentina followed similar paths, their success tied too closely to the fortunes backing them. To make matters worse, the rest of the game was evolving. Backed by booming TV deals and a unified commercial strategy, the Premier League was building a global product. Serie A, meanwhile,
And bro, just Italy, like, but you don't really hear about no new Italian talents. Besides, wasn't there like one kid that He in the AC Milan youth team. That nigga was scoring like crazy goals. I heard about him, but like you don't really hear about crazy talents. Like I just seen footage of like this kid named Hugo or something for the Barcelona youth academy, and niggas like, oh, he about to be another Lamine Yamal, Messi.
Remained fragmented. Without strong centralised revenue or global expansion, clubs continued to rely on individual
Let's
wealth
see if I can find that nigga. What that nigga name is? I think his name Hector or something. I seen this shit on Twitter. No, let me see. I shake me elbows. Yeah, Hugo, this nigga. Boy, look at this kid, y'all. Look at this nigga. 11 years old. Let's say a little bit of this nigga. Oh my gosh. A black kid. Man, who number 7? Boy, nice. But a dribbling there, y'all, already. Nigga got the passing. No, but a dribbling there. Bro, look at this game. Bro. He a midfielder or something? Bro.
compete. At the same time, Italy's economy slowed, so naturally investment tightened, and football felt it too. Then came 2006. The same year Italy lifted the World Cup, the Calciopoli scandal shook the football world. Investigators uncovered phone recordings suggesting that several club executives had attempted to influence referee appointments. Juventus were relegated, titles stripped, executives
Damn. Damn, I never heard about this. Shit.
banned, and whatever credibility remained took a heavy blow. Simultaneously, across Europe, stadiums were
2006, that's the year I was born.
becoming commercial engines. But in Italy, most clubs didn't own their stadiums. They rented them from local governments. This meant renovation was slow, and
Man, what the fuck?
bureaucracy was heavy. Many grounds hadn't meaningfully changed since 1990. They were historic, sure, but economically outdated. And as football globalized, the gap widened.
Because having studied football as an institution and the Football Association, the FIGC, as an
I'm ready for that World Cup, y'all.
organization, I have understood that is an institution that is not very much living in the present.
That was Max Mauro, an academic and author known for his research on football, migration, and media representation. Serie A stayed rooted in what it had been, confident in its identity, but slower to move beyond it. As we will see later, this will prove to be detrimental to Football Italia. Italy's golden armour was beginning to crack. Take a look at this chart. It shows how many minutes Italian players have played for each Serie A club so far this season as of March 2026. The talk of the town, Como 1907, had an Italian on the pitch for just 1 minute of football this season at the time of recording. What's even more striking is that the top 4 teams on that list were, at the time, in the bottom 6 of the league table. The thing is, we didn't get here overnight. In the late 2000s, the rhythm of football began to change. Matches became faster. Teams pressed higher up the pitch. The moment possession was lost, it had to be won back immediately. We all know the script. Guardiola takes over Barcelona in 2008 and changed how football looked. Within a few years, it became the blueprint that all other teams attempted to copy. Not everyone in Italy welcomed the change. Former Italian manager Fabio Capello once complained that Guardiola had ruined Italian football. He argued that the obsession with possession had pushed the game away from the tactical balance Italian teams once mastered. But whether one liked it or not, the sport was moving towards tiki-taka's direction. Adapting to it proved difficult because Italian academies had traditionally emphasized defensive intelligence and tactical discipline, but not the specific style of play that was sweeping the football world. Gradually, the effects began to show. For instance, Italy had been the home of the trequartista position for a long time, the classic number 10 operating between midfield and attack. Think Baggio, Totti, Del Piero, players who lived in that small pocket of space.
Legends.
Where creativity mattered more than structure. But modern football slowly squeezed that space out of existence. High pressing systems demanded that every player defend. Midfields became tighter and more compact. The freedom that once allowed trequartisti to thrive gradually disappeared. Another change followed. For decades, Italy had produced elite strikers almost automatically. Vieri, Inzaghi, Toni. Each generation seemed to produce another number 9. Then, suddenly, the pipeline slowed. Italy still produced talented forwards,
Who y'all number 9 now? Calafiori.
but the steady stream of world-class strikers began to dry up, just as the role itself was evolving. Modern strikers had to press defenders, link play, run channels, and operate across the front line. The position had changed. So far, the changes we've seen have largely come from within the game itself, but some of the forces shaping the Italian shift had very little to do with football. With the World Cup just months away, we're creating the most premium content we've ever made. A dedicated World Cup docuseries, exclusive deep dives you won't see anywhere else, a members-only newsletter using the link. Just content video. Beneath everything we've talked about so far is one simple question. How are the players coming through, and how does it impact the national team? Despite an aging population, Italy is still producing talented players. So,
Calafiori.
what's the aging population?
Oh yeah, they do got Donnarumma.
Italy is still producing talented
Calafiori.
players. So, what's the issue? Beyond just the number of talent available, how they develop is just as crucial.
What has changed, and it's not me saying this, is the way children experience football. There is more emphasis across Italy into academies where you have to pay to take your children. But when I was a kid, I would play for free in my local team.
Oh, you gotta pay for the academies now.
And I would play outside the team also in my free time, in the streets or in the local parish pitch. Okay, so it was very, very popular. If you go in villages these days, if you go in cities, very rarely you will see children playing.
Even when talent does emerge, the pathway is far from clear. Young Italian players are often valued highly early on, which sounds like a positive, but in practice,
El Shari.
it limits opportunity, because clubs competing for results would rather sign experienced players or cheaper foreign prospects with resale value than take a risk on expensive youth potentials. This is a reflection of the wider economic decline which influences the club's decisions and that in turn impacts player development pipeline within Italy. And as soon as some of these Italian players start doing well, they are snapped up instead by other leagues. Retegui moved to Saudi Arabia, Giovanni Leone swapped Parma for Liverpool, Calafiori to Arsenal, and a few more. Many argue that there's also another layer to it all. Italy's transition into a more diverse society has been slower, while the rest of football has expanded. France's 2018 World Cup squad reflected that at scale. Germany, England, and Spain also regularly draw from its diverse pool.
We see some degree of diversity in youth teams. You see it in the under-16s, under-15s, even in the under-21s. How is that? That then when it comes to the under 20, under the senior team, which is the most visible, the most impactful, we don't see the diversity. See, countries like Spain, who have a similar profile to Italy.
Well, I still believe. I think Spain could. Everybody to my friends. I still think Spain could beat France. I still think Spain gonna dog walk the World Cup.
But even less in terms of flows of migration over the last 30 years, I've proved.
Italy has been trying, though. They have frequently featured foreign-born players.
Like, yeah, Pedri and Lamine, I'm like, bro, technically, bro, y'all not fucking with Spain, bro. I'm telling you.
Their youth system is a lot more diverse too. But when you see statements like this from respected Italian footballing legends,
Wait, what? I'm not racist, but there are too many blacks in youth teams. What? What, my nigga? And what is wrong with that?
it leaves little to the imagination.
Nigga, what?
There's no denying that Italian football has its issues. Balotelli's career captured that tension, celebrated on the pitch, yet
That nigga said, I'm not racist, but there's too many blacks in youth teams. And
often facing abuse off it across Italy's stadiums.
Balotelli was the first black Italian star, and it was hugely important in 2012 when Italy made it to the final of the Euros. 2 years later, when Italy exited, this kind of sort of tragedy at the World Cup, and they left at the first stages. All the media, the major media, I'm talking about newspapers, television, blame Balotelli. But this is not me saying I've done a published paper on that, more than one, showing how media created a kind of discourse, blaming the only black player, the blame making scapegoating for this kind of demise, national demise. How is that? Well, there are issues that Italy as a society has never properly addressed, the colonial past, internal racism. There is a lot of debate about racism in certain areas, but obviously these things are not properly addressed and elaborated, okay, by society at large and sporting institutions
we're struggling to speak English for
such as football.
Italian football has had some success through the 2020 Euros, showing up in the Nations League, and the odd club football moments, but they are becoming few and far between. At this stage,
Oh yeah,
Italy
that was crazy when Napoli won the league.
seems to be hit from three fronts: their league and clubs, their players, and their national team. Serie A is a far cry from its yesteryears. Investment into the league is not top priority for major firms who are looking elsewhere in Europe. Over the past 6 editions of the Champions League, Italian clubs have failed to reach the quarter-finals in 4 of those seasons. The youth team's winning patterns aren't as exciting as it once was. Italian footballers are rarely mentioned when discussing the top 10 or even top 15
California trash, I ain't gonna lie.
players in the world right now.
California.
And finally, when it comes to the national team, it paints a grim picture. This is the 3rd World Cup in a row that Italy hasn't qualified. It's painful, not just for Italian fans, but for football fans in general, because the team that once defined football's greatest moments now risks fading into a shadow of what it once was. A whole generation of football fans have never seen Italy play at a World Cup yet, and today it has found itself caught between 2 identities, no longer fully its old self, but not ready to adapt to a new one either.
Why Spain is doing so good? Because they have already mentality to play the ball and now
Make sure to come subscribe and I'm out. Deuces. What's an Italian accent? Oui. I want the meatball spaghetti. It is.